Hello and welcome to this grain to glass video of my Austro-Germanic lager. This is actually a bit of a Frankenstein's monster of a lager. It was a case of using up leftover malts I had. So I put in 21 kilograms thereabouts of Munich malt, and I think it was 7 kilograms of Vienna malt. So a bit of a rich malty base for this lager, and then it was Northern Brewer hops to bitter and Hallertau Mittelfuhr for the later editions. It was also using Nova Lager yeast to ferment the beer with, using the fermentation profile in the Brewfather app. So let's go ahead and look at the brew day footage. So it's time for the glass element of this grain to glass video. It's the 11th of June. I made the lager on the 20th of May, so it's about 22 days later. That's how quick the Nova Lager yeast works. Yes, so here it is. Might as well see it. As you can see, it's a very amber coloured lager. If I just get some light behind it, it is fairly clear. I kegged this today. In fact, I kegged it about an hour or 2 hours ago. So force carved. Yes, I kegged a lot today. So I've got a church fete down the end of my road. So you know, the beer's travelling 200 meters down the road to sell. So yes, I did 2 kegs of my bitter, which you saw on the last video. Got 2 kegs of that. That was quite satisfying actually, because I filled these 2 corny kegs to the brim and checked the fermenter, and there was nothing left. So it's a perfect amount left for those 2 kegs, which is very satisfying. So yeah, I filled those 2 kegs of bitter, and I filled 2.5 kegs of the lager. I still have more in the fermenter, but that's just what I did today. This is the half keg which I put on down the clubhouse, because it's nice to have a beer on down the clubhouse, and I haven't had one on for a little while. So yeah, so there we go. Let's dive in. So it is pretty clear. It isn't crystal clear, but it's pretty damn clear. Again, having only kegged it today, perhaps it does need a little bit of time to settle down, and perhaps in a couple of days it will be crystal clear, but we'll see. But yeah, I like the colour. As you may remember, it's Munich and Vienna malt, so more of the it's darker malts we can use for German style beers. But yeah, let's dive in. So nice amount of carbonation, just about see that. So just force carved it. Let's dive in, chin chin. Oh. Yeah, so it came in at 5.8%, which is coincidentally the same as the bitter. That was quite by accident. The Nova Lager yeast was much more efficient than predicted on the app. And I did do a silly thing as well. So that when I filmed the tasting video for the bitter, I switched the glycol chiller off because it was making a noise and I wanted to film without noise in the background. And some silly sod forgot to put it back on again. So for a couple of days, this was fermenting at anywhere between 20 and 26 degrees, which is a lot higher than I wanted it to. Fortunately, that wasn't too long. And yes, I soon realised that it wasn't on and got it chilled down to carry on fermenting. So yes, it has had a little bit of stress, but as I said, that Nova Lager yeast is pretty resilient. Yeah, so it's malty as you would expect. Slight toffee caramel notes, perhaps. Wouldn't say it's crisp and dry, not quite yet. There's a hint of it, I suppose. But the hops are very pleasant with it. It's that sort of traditional, slightly grassy, hay-like lager flavour. All in all, actually, I am quite happy with that. I would say that there is a slight, ever so slight sort of candy banana flavour, which I'm not keen on in there. Maybe that will disappear, because say it is very, very newly kegged. That might have been something to do with the stress on the yeast, potentially. Anyway, let's swap that puny glass for a proper glass. That's better. As you can see, it's a darker lager. I've called it Sommerfest, which Sommerfest beer, because I thought it's quite like an Oktoberfest or sort of Marzen-y style. You know, it's quite a malty lager, and it's for a summer fete, so I thought, well, Sommerfest. Anyway, there we go. So that's what it's turned out like. It was very pleasant. So I've got a keg of that on down the clubhouse. I'll take 2 kegs to the fete of the lager and 1 keg of the bitter, because I think the lager will probably sell better. If I sell a keg through, I'll be very happy, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, there we have it. Sommerfest beer. Bit of a Frankenstein's monster in terms of using up old malt in half-filled bags I've had lying around for ages. The hops were freshly brought. Yes, and as was the Nova Lager yeast. And yes, I did do water. I did make it with RO water with additions. And it's made a good beer. I like that. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you again next time. Next time is brewing the Well Tide, which is the Citra, Nelson Sauvignon and Nectaron Hazy Pale. That's going to the Berkhamsted Beer Festival on the 11th of June. So we've got a month to go. They want it in cask, so I need to get on and make it. Because obviously it needs 2 weeks at least to carbonate in the cask and about 2 weeks to ferment, so time is running out, so I need to get that done. Fortunately, as I said, the bitter fermenter did run out, so I'd give that a good wash and hopefully brew either Sunday or Tuesday, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye bye, or I'll be doing.